a brand new offer has been made to Frenkie de Jong. This offer comes from Barcelona, who still, according to many reports, are trying to force him out the football club. The offer stands, you can stay, you can play, but you need to reduce your salary by a minimum of 14%. They have made him an offer to leave as well. Of course, we know a bid from Manchester United has been accepted by Barcelona. This has been reported on. There is a done deal between Barcelona and Manchester United. 7 million euros has now been offered to Frenkie de Jong as a make-weight on the deferred wages that are owed to him by the giants of the Camp Nou. As it stands right now, this is, of course, 10 million below what it is they actually are required to pay him if he indeed stays and doesn't take the pay cut. There's, of course, been a lot of reports in the last few days that he's now willing to take that pay cut, but nothing from the mainstream media here in the UK or any of the European giant reporters. Now, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this, people, but a new offer has been made, and where this stands out to be very intriguing. The new offer, as you can see here, has all been detailed via the Independent. Via the Independent. But what's interesting, only a couple of weeks ago, it was claimed that an offer of 3.5 million was made to the player. So the offer has now been doubled by Barcelona to get Frenkie de Jong out of the football club. With time running out and the need for him to move on to be able to register all of their new players for the start of the La Liga season draws near, what will happen with Frenkie de Jong? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Smash that like and share button. Make sure you click on the bell notification as well. Let's go. This is such an interesting situation. It truly is, because, you know, I'm not one who's going to shy away from what I said just a couple of days ago. If Manchester United go all in for Frenkie de Jong, and that's how this is being reported by the likes of Fabrizio Romano, that Manchester United are all in. Man United, as of now, have no plan Bs. Yes, there may be players like Ruben Neves and Yuri Tillemans on a list, but the club has made almost zero inroads this summer into trying to sign those players. That is a claim from the tier ones. It appears that plan A, plan B, plan C is Frenkie de Jong. And what's really intriguing is this update that come from Fabrizio Romano yesterday, which is that Frenkie de Jong never had an intention to take a pay cut to stay at Barca. At the moment, there is no intention on the player and his agent's side to accept a pay cut. And this was communicated by his agent to Barca 2 weeks ago. Now, what we know over the course of Sunday is the media out of Barcelona were making claims that the player was now happy and willing to take up to a 50% pay cut. Those reports had then been edited and changed slightly, and kind of it was a 40% pay cut that he was willing to take. This sent me and many other Man United fans into an era of frustration, annoyance, and anger. This will be embarrassing if Manchester United put all their eggs in this basket just for the player to turn down tens of millions of pounds in deferred wages and future salary to stay at Barcelona and to leave Manchester United essentially with their in their hands. And that isn't what Manchester United want and need. They need to be able to sign this player. They need to be able to bring this individual in. They need to be able to go to that next stage. But what is intriguing is that although publicly, via a lot of the Barca media, Barcelona are pushing this, we want to keep him, he's happy to stay, he's going to take a pay cut. There was the rumors last week that he has no intention of joining Man United. He'd reject Man United. He doesn't want to go anywhere near Manchester. He doesn't like the city. He doesn't like the way the club is run. For all of that being said, Man United aren't budging. Now, that is either blind, stupid faith, which is going to end up with egg on your face, or they know something we don't know. And my stance on this hasn't changed. My stance hasn't changed. If there is a chance of signing Frenkie de Jong, you get it done. If he is, though, willing to take this pay cut, if he is willing to stay at Barcelona beyond just his love of the club, look, I love the club, I'll take the pay cut, I'll forego my deferred wages. Man United have got to get away from this as quick as possible and ignite these secondary targets. There is no shadow of a doubt about this. As stated earlier on in the video, Frenkie de Jong, this was an article from 2 weeks ago that stated that Frenkie de Jong still wants to move to Manchester United, and there is confidence that the deal can be struck with Barcelona. The Dutchman has become the center of the saga that's made complicated by the outstanding 17 million euros in unpaid wages to him. Football Transfers learned via Jack Tolbert, who's the journalist on this, has learned that Barcelona are willing to hand the player 3.5 million, but ask him to forego the rest. Now, that has recently changed. According to The Independent, they have now offered, that it's 10 million less than the actual figure, which means they've offered around 7 million euros. So they've now doubled their offer to Frenkie de Jong. And I think that this is what I'm hoping is going on. This is hope. This is a hope, because I am getting worried. I'm not going to lie. I'm not changing my tune on this. What I'm hoping is that the more pressure Barca become, the more Man United don't blink, the more Frenkie de Jong doesn't blink, the closer they get to that 17 million pounds in an offer to the player, and he leaves. Now, what's intriguing is he isn't actually owed a lump sum. The way the deferred wages essentially worked is they minused an amount off of his monthly salary for the past couple of years, and that's meant to be added exponentially over the remainder of his 4 year of his contract. So he isn't actually owed, there isn't a bank account somewhere with 17 million euros sitting in it they were going to transfer to him. And even if he takes a deal at 10, 12, 13, 14 million euros, they're not going to pay that to him in a lump sum. It will be paid in monthly installments to him like wages would be. Very unlikely to be a lump sum, considering that Barca don't have that much money even after the levers have come in. You know, they're paying a lot of their deals in very long installments, which is fair and fine. There's no issue with that at all. But it's an intriguing game to see what's going on, because if the player was really as happy as the Barca press are claiming to stay and take that pay cut, why are Barcelona offering him essentially a settlement to leave? That's been the claim of a lot of the tier 1 British media for about 2 weeks now. The player is open and willing to join. Yes, we know he'd prefer. What he'd love is for Barca to say, look, we're going to play you in midfield. We're going to pay you your wages. We love you. We're sorry. We want you to stay. That isn't on the cards right now. They are saying take a massive pay cut or leave. Barca haven't changed their stance on that whatsoever. Man United haven't changed their stance on wanting to buy him. They've come to an agreement with Barcelona. That is done and dusted. It all depends on what you want to believe about Frenkie de Jong. That's the only element here which seems to be ever changing in the media. The Barca press first said he doesn't want to leave. Then they said he was open to leaving. Then they said he was going to go to Chelsea. Then he was going to reject Chelsea for Manchester United. Then he wasn't going to leave at all. Then it was going to be Chelsea or Bayern Munich. Now they're saying that he isn't going to go and he's willing to take a pay cut. They've been continually changing their stance on the player the majority of the summer. And the fact their story keeps changing far more regularly than other European outlets in the British press leads me to believe that there's a little bit of jackanori going on here. Now, what I want to do before we go any further is introduce you to our sponsors today. You know them so well already. Private internet access. You should not be using the internet without a secure VPN. You can get up to 3 months free and up to 82% off with us. It has unbreakable VPN security with a strict no logins policy. Now, what this essentially means is your card information, credit cards, debit cards, your PIN numbers, your date of birth, your mother's maiden name, all your private information is completely and 100% encrypted. It can be put onto your laptops, iPhones, Androids, whatever kind of computer devices you have, it is available on. And there's also zero restrictions and unlimited content. No matter where you are in the world, your content is freely available for you to use. And I'm going to scroll down here for you to see this. £1.63 per month. £1.63 per month. That is how cheap we can make this security for you. Make sure you use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description to get yourself signed up. Now, look, I'm someone who has stated this and I stand by it. I'm getting nervous about this deal. I'm getting worried about this deal. I'm worried about being embarrassed at the end of it, as I've already stated. But that doesn't mean I don't have questions, and it doesn't mean I won't report on the new news. And this is new news. And I think what's significant is looking at the timeline of this. That's what's really significant here. 3.5 million, now 7 million. Is it likely that will go up again? What I've believed all along, now this hasn't been reported per se, but what I've believed all along is that if the right kind of offer was made, maybe 12, 12 and a half, 13, I think there's a way here of getting Frenkie de Jong to agree. I've believed for a while that the only element stopping this deal going through has been those deferred wages. I am not convinced that he's willing to take a pay cut. 100%. Okay? I'm hopeful of that as well. I'm hopeful because Man United need him, especially if we're to believe Fabrizio Romano. Interesting take from Gary Neville on this as well, as we all saw, that he thinks that De Jong should consider legal action versus Barcelona and all players should be behind him. A club spending fortunes on new players whilst not paying the ones that are under contract what they're fully sort of entitled to, their full money, is immoral and a breach. FIFA Pro should be all over this. Should be all over bullying like this and stop it. And of course, Gary Neville's had a bit of stick for this because he's ex-Man United. Man United are trying to sign him. If Jamie Carragher tweeted this, I think the world would be getting behind it. I really do. And if Gary Neville would have tweeted this and it was about Liverpool buying a player, the whole world would have probably got behind it. Bias wouldn't have been called out. I think Gary Neville's got a fair point here. I think he's got a fair point. Now, some people are saying they're under no legal obligation to pay him any money because of the way the deferred contracts were made. But remember, these players, out the kindness of their hearts, deferred to ensure that Barcelona didn't go out of business. If these players hadn't deferred these hundreds of millions of pounds they owe to players in wages, Barcelona may not be here now. Like, they owe it to these players that kept them in business. And it's the honourable thing to do. I don't think he's going to take them to court. I don't think it's going to go that far. I do think in the end, the settlement will be made if the player is to leave. I don't believe he'll go and leave and forego all the money that's owed to him. Of course, there's still that possibility that he stays and signs that new deal. To completely 100% write that off, I think would be crazy. But where my money still sits on this is that Man United are going all in. They're going to try and go the distance. If the player gets the right offer from Barca, he may accept it. But it's a big, big risk. And Man United face huge embarrassment if this goes wrong. Now, I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. Smash that like and that share button. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.